Greetings, 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 everyone, and welcome to Create Yourself Imagery, Intimacy, Innovation, a place where people from all walks of life in various backgrounds come together to share their transformative personal and professional stories of restoration, confidence, clarity, and empowerment. I'm Joyce Kiles, your global speaker and life and leadership thriving coach. And if you're ready to transition, transform, and thrive, this is the podcast for you. Today's guest, I am very excited to have. We met last year in a different place and space and doing some work together in a different capacity. But this time I have the opportunity of introducing to my podcast listeners her in a different way. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of background about her, just to let you know that I know that she's an island girl, or at least that's where she is now. She is a survivor of breast cancer. I was so pleased to read and learn more about your experiences in that space. She is an accomplished author. She does a lot of wonderful things in the community. I know that she's a leader in her professional space. And I'm just going to stop right there because I want her to share in her own way about who she is, what she does, and how long she's been doing it. So I'm introducing to some and presenting to others, none other than Kalyn Fahie. Kalyn, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate you.
Well, I know that you are a very, very busy woman. So I just want to jump right in. Tell our listeners who you are, what you do, and how long you have been in this space. So for the next few minutes, the floor is yours.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. So my name is Kalyn Fahie. I've been doing domestic violence work as a domestic violence advocate since 2006. I am a survivor of domestic violence myself and started an organization in Detroit called Sisters Acquiring Financial Empowerment that this year is celebrating its 20th anniversary. I now work for one of the National Resource Centers as a training and technical assistance manager. And I just do a lot of other things. For example, I am now an author, which I'm really excited about, and just wrote my first book. It's a workbook called Dreams and Visions Workbook: Plan, Reflect, Take Action with Faith and Purpose. And that came about from my work with my nonprofit organization working with survivors of domestic violence. That organization, SAFE, was really focused on economic justice initiatives. And one of the first things we would do is work with the survivors. What are your goals? What do you want in your life? What do you see in the next 5 years? Like, basically, the questions would be a lot more real. And really, this is the first time that you might have had the opportunity to actually think, what do you want to do as far as your next steps, and to shape the rest of your life instead of someone dictating to you what you should do. And those would sometimes be very emotional, like, wow, this is the first time I can think about what I want to do in my life. And so we started with goal setting. We would have vision board exercise, visioning, because at the end of the day, these would be the things that the ladies would hold on to. Like, this is why I'm working so hard. This is why I'm making these sacrifices to reach my goals. Like, work might really be rough, but now let me reflect back on my goal list and why am I doing this every day. And so it started from there, and then advocates would start coming to the sessions like, oh, well, I'm benefiting from this. This is helping me. And so when I had the opportunity to move, which we don't have time in this podcast to talk about how I transitioned from Detroit, Michigan to St. Thomas, U.S. Virgin Islands.
That might be for a part two. That might be for part two. So we'll talk about it. Okay, go ahead.
So when I transitioned to the Virgin Islands, I wanted to form community. I knew I was going to be living there for a long time, and I wanted to find friends. I wanted to have community. And so I started inviting women that I didn't even know to my house once a month for a brunch. And at the brunch, I would have different activities. And the first brunch, we did vision boards. And so they really enjoyed it. And so we dug deeper into goal setting and things of that nature. And it became an annual event that I did. Then when we were in the quarantine during the lockdown time, I then expanded it to do it virtually, which then allowed all of my friends, all of my community from Detroit, from St. Thomas, from all over the places to be able to join. And people to this day tell me how it really shaped and benefited them as far as like them achieving entrepreneurship goals or other dreams that they might have had. And so my whole walk in life has definitely been a faith-based walk in my personal life. And so I didn't stress or emphasize the faith-based component in the work that I did with survivors, but in the work that I did personally with my friends and with myself was really based on my faith. So when I went to write this book, I really kind of took a step out there and pivoted by making it a faith-based book with biblical principles. But it's not heavy Bible. It's talking about, I mean, I have a quote from Earth, Wind, and Fire in there. Like, I'm not trying to be anybody over here, but I just want people to be encouraged. And I, am transparent with some personal stories and some practical applications. And there's a lot of templates and guides to walk a person through from beginning to end, short-term, long-term goals, even vision boards and journaling exercises. But how and why am I doing the things that I want to do? And how do I think I can apply that step by step? And so I really wanted to give people a guide and a roadmap. And I'm really, really excited to bring this book to fruition.
Just wow, just absolutely wow. So many nuggets that you shared about your journey. And one of the things that I got from it, well, got several things, because again, we won't have a whole time for this. So I definitely can see a part two if your time and schedule permits. Um, because first of all, I'm a Chicago native. So when you said that about Detroit and then moving south, so you moved way further down. And so at some point in time, I'm really hoping to get over to the Virgin Islands and spend time over
Yes.
there. Yeah, I would really like that. But I'm a Chicago girl, before moving to Memphis and then to Georgia, which is where I am now. And one of the things that stuck out with me that you shared about is the passion that you have around economic justice, which is something that I am very passionate about. So much so that when I started my nonprofit, I dissolved it last year, but I'd had it for 14 years. And the biggest reason that I started it was because I saw such an economic disparity and not a lot of conversation around economic justice, especially for those who have gone through domestic abuse in some way. And a lot of people don't understand. And I think I shared about this maybe yesterday or the day before. That this month I was really going to spend a lot of time talking about the month of April, talking about, economic justice and economic empowerment and the abuse that takes place because a lot of people stay in their relationships because of the economic reasons that are behind it. So just hearing you talk about that and sharing that is a lot of where your passion and your desire for working with survivors. I too am a survivor of domestic abuse, and so a lot of people are aware of that. And if this is your first time listening to this podcast, maybe it's the first time you've heard me share it in this space, but it's definitely something that is well known for me. But I love the fact that you're a survivor, I'm a survivor, that we talk about the importance of economic justice. And one of my signature talks is actually called I Left, Now What? And it focuses a lot on the things that you are doing. So I'm just excited hearing that. And matter of fact, with you sharing about your walk in life, my nonprofit was named Walking into a New Life. So,
Okay.
so just hearing the similarities and the passion, I'm really excited about this interview and opportunity to be able to talk with you in this space and in this way, and hearing your passion and excitement about your new book. So, I would love for you to share just some of the gratifying parts about writing the book and where we can find it and how we can connect with you to receive it and just work with you. And then I'm gonna go back to a couple of other questions.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, it was just what happened was late last year, my friends were like, you know what, starting in the new year, we really want to like buckle down on our goal, but we don't want to just like every day. We want to really do a for real deep dive into what we're going to do and plan. And I was like, okay, I love it. And so I started looking at my computer and I started pulling up all these different contents and templates and PowerPoints and all kind of stuff. And God said, that's your first book. I said, okay, amen, hallelujah. And so that's where it came from, because I basically had all the content. So I just had to package it. I added my own personal stories because I wanted people to connect on a personal level with this work. So I'm super, super excited about it. And so where they can find it is I created a website. It's kalynfahie.com, and that's KALYN F as in Frank AHIE.com. And I know my last name FAHIE being pronounced Foy is confusing, but that name actually comes from the British Virgin Islands. So from my husband's family. But my maiden name, people are confused about that too. So, so I'm used to that. I just love what I'm loving now is people have received the book and they are writing me, messaging me, DMing me on how they love it. I have free giveaways, like you could get a free download from my website. You could order the physical copy of the book through my website, or you could go straight to Amazon or Ingram Spark. So those options are on the website to order the book. And you could also get a digital download version. So if you're an iPad tablet girly, you could just work on it digitally, which I personally love that option as well. I've been working on mine digitally, downloaded to my iPad, and I absolutely love it. And so I have other downloads as well that people can use. Like if you sign up with the email, you with your email on my website, you could get a free rest and relaxation guide, because that's something it's about spiritually relaxing, physically, mentally, and additional goal setting templates that is a complement to the workbook. So there's other digital products online that I hope people check out and appreciate. And I'm on all social media, so people can contact Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn. I'm everywhere.
All right. And I think Lemonade too, that's new to me.
Yes.
Okay. So I know what I typically do is, and those of you that follow the podcast, you know this, as I share about our guests, I always include all of their contact information, all the ways that you can connect with them. So I strongly, strongly, and highly encourage you to make sure that you do so. And just learning about the book, but then also sign up for the newsletter, because it sounds like when you sign up, you're also getting some free downloads, and everybody loves free and freemium. So not only are you getting quality information and learning about Kalyn and the work that she's doing, the work that she has done in her journey, but she's also giving you some opportunities to connect with her in ways that only requires you to sign up. So please do get that information, share it with others, and support her work, support by the book, follow her journey. She's giving you lots of different ways to do so. So again, that information is going to be included as I share this out with everyone else. So I just want to encourage, connect, get to know her, get the book, get the downloads, find out how you can work with her, and have her come and talk, speak, and train with your organizations and companies as well. So having said that, what main points or encouraging words would you want our audience to take away from our time together today?
Well, I do want them to know that purchasing the workbook or any of the products, a portion of the proceeds will be going to help survivors of domestic violence in Detroit, Michigan. So I want people to know that. Also, I want people to just be encouraged. Where you're at isn't your end destination. You have a lot more life left in you. You can have a lot of creativity. You're a beautiful person. And just know that there are definitely, if you need help and support in wherever you're whatever your challenge is, that there are people out there that actually do care. I don't want you to feel isolated. I really want you to be encouraged.
Wow, that is a whole lot of the reason that I created this podcast in the first place. I had someone ask me yesterday, um, you know, what my inspiration was behind it. And it's really about encouraging people to see, know that no matter where you are in life, no matter what place, state you may be in, how old you are, we don't care about any of that, that if it's something that you want to do, if you are needing hope, if you're needing love, you're needing encouragement, you need support, that is what I'm hoping that people get from each and every podcast. And just you sharing that and reinforcing that message that there is hope, there is help available, there are people who love, care, and support. You just need to reach out, be open, and say, you know what, I'm looking for that. I need that, whether it's in a personal space or a professional space. There are people who are willing to support you, love on you. I am living witness to that, that when I just took that leap of faith and just said, you know what, I'm just going to let people know what's going on with me, you will be surprised at the love and the support that you gain when you do that. So I just want to piggyback from what Kalyn said in terms of just reaching out and know that help and support is available. So please don't be afraid to say, you know what, I need some support, whether it's in a domestic violence space, whether it's, with a business or transitioning to a new job or moving to a new location, like Kalyn moved from Detroit to the Virgin Islands. That's a move, that's a transition. Me moving from up north to down south and just kind of round and round and having traveled abroad and just seeing some different places and spaces, those things can be scary. But as she has already stated, there is a way to do it. There's a process. We're here to help you with that. So just encouraging you to support the work that she's doing and know that when you are supporting her, there's also a portion of those proceeds that's helping a cause that we both are very passionate about. So please do not hesitate to reach out. I'm telling you, walk, run, however you need to do it. Get to your iPhone, your iPad, whatever, your tablet, your laptop, and check her out. Follow her on social media. Are there any other points as we wrap this up, Kalyn, that you would like to share in terms of the work that you're doing or anything that you just feel would be relevant as we close this out?
I just want to also encourage anyone who has a dream, whether it's to start a nonprofit or a business, to just do it. Sometimes we wait till perfect, and perfect never happens, and that can be paralyzing for us to move
Mm-hmm.
forward. And so I just want to encourage everyone and encourage you to check out my website, kalynfahie.com. Check out my things that I have, and perhaps it can also help to support you along your journey.
All right. I don't think that could be said any better, so I'm just going to leave it there. Thank you so very much to our very special
Thank
guest
you.
today. I appreciate you, Kalyn Fahie, for showing up, showing out, sharing the information, and encouraging our listeners. And thank you, listeners, for tuning in each and every broadcast. Could not do this work without you. So until next time, go forward and create the life that you desire and deserve. And remember, you can do that at any age and any stage. Let's continue to transition, transform, and thrive together. I'm Joyce Kyles, your host. Look forward to tuning in with you next time.